Long Yuan Chapter 6 The Name of the Devil Empress. No. I'd rather die than see you die. Long Yuan held Gu Nianru, resting her head on her chest. Gu Nianru had always looked after her. She viewed her as practically more important than her own life. Therefore, there was no way Long Yuan could really fight her. Gu Nianru also tightly held Long Yuan. I begged the sect master, but his response was that these are the rules set by the corrupt god. Only one of us can live. Caressing her cheek, she asked, Little Yen, is there anything you feel unfulfilled about? Long Yuan shook her head. She had already gotten revenge for her parents. She had no regrets. But I do. When my parents died, I was in a panic and running. I didn't see them clearly. And most hateful of all, my little sister ended up getting lost as she ran with me. When I went back to find her, she was already a corpse. During these years, I've always been secretly investigating, trying to get revenge for them. Currently, I've only gained a few clues. Little Yen, your big sister is begging you. Give this chance to live to me. I want to get revenge for them, said Gu Nianru tearfully. All right. If I can use my life in exchange for your life, I'm willing. It's just that, we'll never be able to see each other again. Long Yuan was willing to die, but she was reluctant to part. Gu Nianru couldn't hold back her tears anymore. They streamed down and she sobbed, I'm also unwilling to part with you. I will always keep your corpse. I've heard that as long as people work hard at cultivating, they can one day become a god or immortal. At that time, I'll become a god and revive you from the dead. Then we can be reunited. Then I'll wait for you. Big sister, you're so amazing, so I know you can do it, said Long Yuan. Her confident gaze at Gu Nianru made it seem like she could see the day she would become a god. The next day, they were still on the same martial stage. The original 500 disciples had been whittled down to 2. There was an elder smiling at them from the stage. For him, seeing disciples slaughter each other was an extremely delightful thing. Furthermore, there were dozens of other elders who had come to watch. They were all looking at Gu Nianru expectantly. Gu Nianru had always been the disciple that had stood out the most amongst her peers. But she had one immense weak point, and that was Long Yuan. Once Long Yuan was gone, Gu Nianru would have nothing besides herself and would truly become a monster. Regretfully, Gu Nianru had always been caring too much about Long Yuan, which had hindered her cultivation speed. So they wanted Gu Nianru to personally remove her burden, making her truly vicious. Once that happened, she would become a true expert. Big sister, I'm going to attack now. Long Yuan's expression was calm. Her sword suddenly came out of its sheath, piercing straight toward Gu Nianruo's heart. Gu Nianru's sword was also as quick as lightning. After blocking Long Yuan's sword, her own sword spun and stabbed toward Long Yuan's head. This attack was extremely vicious. The elders nodded. Gu Nianru had finally accepted the situation and attacked her little sister. Their 2 swords repeatedly clashed. Sword chi erupted. In the blink of an eye, they had exchanged 30 blows. Suddenly, Gu Nianru's sword shook and her sword light changed, becoming a lotus flower that mercilessly slammed toward Long Yuan. Long Yuan smiled sadly. This was the move she had agreed to die to yesterday. According to the plan, Long Yuan stabbed her sword at the center of the lotus. That was the strongest part of the attack, and so she would definitely die. Goodbye, big sister. Long Yuan closed her eyes. But the pain she had expected didn't appear. When she opened her eyes, she was horrified to find that her sword had stabbed through Gu Nianru's heart. Big sister, cried Long Yuan. Even the elders' expressions changed. They were filled with fury. How? Let me heal you. Long Yuan pressed her hand against Gu Nianru's chest, pouring her spiritual chi into her. But she found that all of Gu Nianru's meridians had been destroyed along with her heart. No one could save her now. Long Yuan began to wail. Little Yen. I'm sorry. I tricked you. Please forgive me. I really am unable to bear you dying right in front of me. Forgive my selfishness. I've passed the pain on to you. I've always thought of you as my real little sister. I don't know whether this is fate, or whether I wanted to make up for my regrets. Being able to die for you makes me really happy. Little Yen, don't feel bad. I trust you'll definitely become a god one day. In the future, you'll be able to revive. You will. Gu Nianru tried to raise her hand to touch Long Yuan's face, but she failed. Her head fell as her life came to an end. No. You're lying. Everything you're saying is a lie. There aren't any gods or immortals in this world, so why did you have to trick me? Long Yuan clenched Gu Nianru's corpse, letting out a heart-rending cry. How infuriating. That idiot actually dared to kill herself? That's a blasphemy to the corrupt god. Even if she's a corpse, I'll take her to use as a cauldron. One of the elders furiously came onto the stage and grabbed Gunianru's head, just about to take her away. Bastard, release my big sister, raged Long Yueyan. She immediately slashed her sword at him. Boom! Long Yueyan's sword shattered. At the same time, the elder also sent a kick at Long Yueyan's ribs. Long Yueyan vomited blood, feeling like her ribs had broken into several pieces. Slut, do you know? You ruined a peerless genius. The elder was enraged and once more sent out a kick. Long Yueyan was immediately sent flying and crashed onto the martial stage's stone pillar. A large gash appeared on her forehead, and her head was almost crushed. That elder was a meridian opening expert, while Long Yueyan had only just reached bone forging. She had only tempered 6 bones, so the power difference between them was immense. She didn't have the slightest ability to resist. Release, my big sister. Long Yueyan was already half unconscious. She struggled, but with her bones broken, she couldn't stand. She could only watch as that elder dragged Gunianru's body by the hair. He would stain her body. Her killing intent erupted. She had never felt this much hatred before. She once more entered that special space, once more seeing that mysterious woman. You're finally angry enough. It's time to take what's yours. That woman extended her hand, handing her something. Long Yueyan didn't hesitate to grab it. Buzz. The elder had just left the stage when an icy killing intent soared. In that instant, a sensation of death filled everyone present. Those elders who had been about to leave turned to suddenly see Long Yueyan reach her own hand toward her ribs. Her eyes were still closed. The sound of bones breaking rang out as Long Yueyan actually tore off a piece of one of her ribs. That 3-inch piece of bone had only just appeared when white runes lit up on it. It began to grow, in the end becoming a bone sword. Long Yueyan raised the bone sword and slowly opened her eyes. Her original eyes had become a deep ocean blue. They were like 2 sapphire gemstones. But those beautiful eyes seemed to belong to a devil. Those meridian opening experts all felt their blood turn cold. Long Yueyan stood. A formless aura erupted out of her, one that directly blew apart the martial stage. Raging chi waves devoured this space. To dare blaspheme my big sister, I'll make it so you never reincarnate in this world. Long Yueyan suddenly disappeared like a ghost. When she reappeared, she was right in front of that elder. That elder hastily raised his weapon to block. But his weapon was cut in 2 along with his body. That bone sword was actually incomparably sharp. Before he could make any further moves, Long Yueyan's sword had already pierced his head. Ah! He let out a miserable shriek. His soul was being absorbed by the sword. This was a method to completely exterminate the soul, making it so that they couldn't reincarnate. He would forever disappear from the world. The other elders were appalled. Long Yueyan had actually become a monster. They hastily rushed over, wanting to save that elder. Long Yueyan held Gunianru's corpse in one hand while she swung her bone sword in the other. Sword chi slashed apart those powerful elders. Sectmaster, save us! The particular elder that had been in charge of this group of disciples cried out. These elders rapidly fled, but Long Yueyan seemed to have been possessed by a devil. Still holding Gunianru, she chased after them. With each slash of her sword, she cut through someone's body. No one could stop her. There was some kind of strange energy on her bone sword. Other weapons were unable to block it, let alone the human body. These meridian opening experts were slaughtered one by one like chickens. Suddenly, a spear blocked Long Yueyan's sword. An elderly man appeared, causing the last one remaining, the elder in charge of her group, to rejoice. Sectmaster, please handle this matter for us. This person was precisely Bloodfiend Gate's master. The elder immediately hid behind him. Shut up! The Gate Master shouted and turned to Long Yueyan. Are you willing to take me as your master? Long Yueyan icily looked at him. I can take you as my master. But if you are surpassed by me, I will take your head. Ha ha ha, good. Then I accept you as my apprentice, laughed the Gate Master. You get over here. I want to cut off your head. Long Yueyan pointed her sword at the remaining surviving. The current Long Yueyan was icily arrogant and bloodthirsty. She was like a completely different person. Hurry up, shouted the Gate Master. That elder immediately despaired. He could only go over. He knew that if he went over, he would die. But if he didn't, he would suffer a fate that was even worse than death. Smile, said Long Yueyan coldly. What? In the end, that elder forced out several smiles. Long Yueyan cut off his head when his smile was as close as possible to natural. His head was taken away by her. Long Yueyan had suddenly killed dozens of elders and become the Gate Master's apprentice in one go. Those who had once offended her were all killed. Moreover, the gate master completely ignored all of it. Lung Yuan brought Gu Nianru's corpse to the back mountains where they had once played. Her sapphire eyes looked at her body. Big sister, don't worry. I'll definitely become a god and revive you. It won't take too long. She put away her corpse. Her face was icy as she looked at the bone sword in her hand. If you were the one who set this up, then I, Lung Yuan, swear to make you live a life worse than death. After becoming the gate master's disciple, Lung Yuan returned to that small village. It was still in ruins, and she lived by herself there for 3 years. During those 3 years, she didn't cultivate. She just sat quietly in front of her parents' graves. However, her eyes stayed blue the entire time. They never returned to their previous state again. After those 3 years, she knelt in front of her parents' graves and said, "Mom, Dad, you raised me for 3 years, and I've mourned for you for 3 years. Although I can't repay all your kindness, your daughter is about to leave. If there is a next life, little Yen will repay all your kindness. From today onwards, little Yen is no longer little Yen. Mom, Dad, goodbye." Lung Yuan kowtowed 3 times. These 3 kowtows were a goodbye to her past. She was burying all memories of her past deep within her. She rose, her bone sword on her back. She didn't look back. Starting that day, a vicious devil empress was born in the corrupt path. The name Little Yen was gone. The only thing in people's memories was a vicious, emotionless killer, the devil empress Lung Yuan. No one knew her past. That was because all those people had all died. They had died to Lung Yuan's sword, including her master.